I'm Matthew. So we're with Job Van Zalen. Khentopia is the feature film. Really great film, thriller suspense film festival. Obviously, a lot of fantasy sci-fi involved in it. Peaceful society. The planet Zera. Is that a real planet or is that
Zeeray,
a
yeah, Zeeray.
Zeeray? Is that a let's see, is that a made-up planet or is that a real planet?
No, it's made up, so it's an idea.
It's an idea. So tell us about this planet and the summary of this
So
film.
the idea is that, in the future, um, the other planets will be colonized. People will venture out into space and start new colonies on according to our own ideas. So this one is a peaceful society, and they do have a way to defend themselves in the form of this shield, and the shield is powered by ethereal energy, which is generated by chanting. So you may be familiar with the Buddhist chanting, and
Mhm.
the idea is that that generates kind of spiritual energy, which then, in a peaceful way, uh, provi- provides a defense for the planet. So that goes all very well until that raider ship from Space Wolf decides to mess it up. And it's a very simple way they do it. As soon as one chanter is out of tune, everything goes haywire. So that's what's beginning of the film, what happens. And so the shield is gone, but on top of that, the planet sort of enters a parallel world that's aggressive and militarist. So it's the opposite of the planet uh, that they were on before. So that's sort of the beginning.
Gotcha. So you said in the blog interview that this was another film. This planet existed in another film.
Yeah,
You-
the idea of just that was a completely different story. But yeah, Khentopia did exist earlier. It was just a short, was for a contest. It was,
okay, so it was like a short story, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And I had the idea to expand it initially, but um, it became another story, that the current one.
gotcha. And then when did you like decide to make this into a movie?
Well, so that was early on. I mean, I always wanted to make a movie with it. Um, but the story itself, I mentioned that, we had the elections in 2017, that I felt that we sort of entered the parallel world. That sort of flashed in my head, that idea. And so, well, maybe I can do something with that and expand the story according to that idea. So that's what happened. But it took quite a while to. I sort of had the idea, well, the beginning and the end. The end is that when they come back. But I struggled, like a lot of creators do, with the middle of the story. How do I get from the beginning to the end in a you know? So I had many ideas of that, and it took me about 2 years to come to the idea that I had, that the spaceship that you see in the beginning, then in the end is a vehicle for them to escape from that planet. So that sort of circular. So I tried to limit, in a way, the number of characters that you have to deal with, and I think that worked out very well.
Uh, just out of curiosity, like how far into the future are we?
This is in 2000. I should know that, but I have it right here. We are in 2000, 2502 that this happens. So it's about 500 years or so.
You think we'll make it that far? Like, think of like humans will make it that?
Well, that's a good question. They're doing a good job to not, right?
Yeah.
It's always, but we have hope. Can always have hope. I think that's good.
Okay, so you basically and so thematically, what are you trying to say with this film?
I think what I'm trying to say is that even if things are very bad by using your head and um, getting good helpers and ideas, you can still get out of it. That's sort of the idea. So you can escape from your predicament, but it takes work.
Gotcha.
And also, I think what's interesting about it is that is the idea that an event like the outcome of the elections go this way, Sanders or Trump, uh, that generates different timelines. So that's another idea that, um, you
Like
know,
parallel universes, I guess.
yeah, yeah, and which is something that scientists say is a possibility. So, um,
Well, we know the comic book movie people like it, right? So it gets them out of trouble. They can say, "Oh no, we're in a parallel universe. Everything's okay," right? So,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so
So there's a couple of things in there that that yeah, I think everybody can sort of find out for themselves also, and that's why I like the comments in the viewers' interviews. I was pleasantly surprised that they actually got what I wanted to say, and so that was very good.
okay, so this is this like a one man animation machine? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did the sound design, you did the animation, you did everything.
yeah. So I'm here in my studio actually, and that's where it happens.
Yeah. So nobody else helped you with this film except for you.
Uh, no, no, not really. No, the only well, I do, but there's a lot of criticism over the years of using AI voices, but they
Yeah.
know at the point that they're so good that you can use them. I've used them so for this film. So that's
Sometimes there's like a lack of nuance, I guess, with the AI voices. But do you have a fine do you have a hard do you don't find that in the voices?
no, I think that it worked out pretty well. And every 3 months there's a new version and an improved version. So and the way I work is also that um, if I have a scene, for instance, and there's dialogue in it, um, often I listen to it in when the movie's when the scene is already finished, and I say, well, this doesn't sound right. So I made a lot of changes on the go in the dialogue. So if you have voice actors, and especially when a film takes so long like mine,
Yeah.
those people may be gone. So it's just has a practical reason also to do it that way.
So this was a novel before it became a film, right?
No, actually, there is a novel,
Okay.
but the novel sort of was done after the film. But there were points that I was sort of bored with the film. So this is the book.
Yeah.
Um, I was bored with film, so I started doing this novel. But the novel is based on the stills from the movie that I used for the novel. So
Gotcha.
that worked actually out quite well. So the novel, people can buy that and go to the website and buy it.
So you're
People,
like,
people,
oh, yeah.
sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like so you're like this is like a great kind of study of like doing things like AI uh on your own, right? Like you did a
Yeah,
feature film, animated film on by yourself. You did and you also did like you did everything. You did the sound design on down. You wrote the script, you did the sound design beginning to end, I guess, right?
yeah, and actually, I do like the editing. Actually, the final editing, putting things together. That's what I enjoy most. Uh, because animation is a lot of work. Sometimes it gets tedious, but you have to do it. You have to finish the scene. So I do like creating the final product and putting everything, selecting the music and things like that.
So it took 7 years.
yeah, 7 years. And uh, you can say, well, the first 2 years was really development of the story, and then but 5 more years. Yeah. And I did other projects in between, so it was not like I was constantly working on that. I did a couple of short films, but then I picked it up again. So
And you said the biggest in the blog interview, you said the biggest challenge was kind of to stay interested because 7 years is a
yeah,
long time, right?
yeah, that's a lot. So that's yeah, that's indeed a challenge too. But I'm glad it's done. I have ideas for another film, but I don't know if I can can bring it up to do that again.
Like another feature film.
Yeah, yeah, I have an idea for that. And but
So
maybe I can hire some people to help me or something.
yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah. And basically it speeds up the process, right? And then
Right.
it's collaboration. They get bounce off ideas off each other, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe
So
that's how we'll do it.
so the origin story of you as a filmmaker is that you were a composer, right?
Yeah, and that's yeah, I was and that's all part-time. I've never been a professional composer or something, but back in the Netherlands, I was interested in making electronic music, and people were interested a couple of times for to add it to an animated film. So that's a long time ago, and that sort of got me interested in animation. And then maybe like 15 years ago, I started doing things myself. I thought, well, it was easier now. You had one software program could do everything,
Yeah.
and so I built on that. And every time you learn, I think it's always for everybody who listens. I think it's always good to, even if you're not perfect, to at least try to make that film and do something with it. Because I see a lot of, especially now, people are very impressed with, the visual quality of game engines. So they wait. They say, well, I really have to wait till, but you wait forever. So my first films don't look that good, but I made them, and you know,
Yeah.
that's stepping stone for the next one.
So how would you describe your expertise with using AI?
Uh, well, I don't use AI. I see the speech is relatively simple. Yeah, I just, you select the character. So I don't use a lot of generative AI like any of those tools. I'm interested in it, but I don't see a direct use of, I know you can now, you put your video in, right, and you get an AI version in any style um, that you want. And that's interesting, but uh, I think it's kind of fun to do it yourself, actually.
Yeah.
I have used recently AI for like a script critique, and that worked out very well. So I gave the script, they analyzed it, and they got gave me some good ideas of what was missing and stuff like that. So for those kind of, but not like writing a whole script or that, I don't think so.
Yeah. So you're from the Netherlands originally, but you live in the United States now, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you're kind of like you kind of like have a insider's outsider's perspective on the US, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, you can say that. Yeah, sometimes I scratch my head, right? What have I gotten myself into?
Well, you can always go back, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, but I got married here and
Yeah.
lived here for 32 years, so I'm pretty well settled here.
No, I
And
understand
then
that.
other if you go back to every country changes. So,
Yeah, the Netherlands has changed a lot in the last 30
yeah,
years as well,
right,
right?
yeah. But we like. I have a house in Canada, so I like Canada. It's possible. If it's too bad here in the US, I can try to go to Canada and like
where is the house in
the New
Canada?
Brunswick,
Yeah,
in near St.
Maritimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maritimes. St. Martin's. I
That's
don't know.
nice. It
Yeah,
gets cold there for there's like the summer lasts about a month, I guess, but it's pretty good.
yeah. The summer is very nice, 70s. Like here it's 100, or in Virginia where I'm, it's like it's very hot, 90.
Yeah.
So it's nice for the summer, and then in the winter we are here. So yeah, we
So
like it there. It's very quiet and peaceful.
so this film and your previous films have all have a political kind of subtext to it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't want to do it in people's face, but
Yeah.
maybe they get it, which is fine. Um, yeah, I wouldn't want to make outright political films, I think. But the new film has something to do. I wrote it 10 years ago when there barely was AI, which is kind of amazing because it has an AI theme in it. And the idea is that relationships are um, controlled by a device, and the device makes sure that the relationship is okay, so people don't have to bother with themselves with it. So this is an AI theme. It goes wrong, of course, and so that's what that is about. So I think it's still timely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, there's that fear, right? There's
Yeah.
that certain percentage, probably yourself included, that is embracing it. They're like excited about it. And then there's the people, the unknown people who like don't really know anything about it. And then so a lot of times when you don't know anything about something, you get scared of it, right? So you're living fear of it.
Yeah, and it's amazing, even on, like a place like LinkedIn, where you would think that people would know better. There are people that say, well, no, no, no. Gurus say, and there are dangers. I mean, but there are always dangers in any technology. I mean, but I don't want to talk politics on the program, but if I see how you, especially in our government, I don't know, but I'd rather have an AI, those people.
Yeah. Because you don't, they're like their ideology is a little extreme, I guess, right?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the ice people are not going to be coming going after you, will they?
Well, I don't know, that's why I'm hesitant.
Yeah, but let's
No,
just be
I
on,
don't think so.
let's be honest here. You're white, so I think you're
I
white.
think,
You're like
yeah.
you're like
Oh,
way
yeah, I look very, yeah, no, I fit in, I fit very good in.
you're way
Elderly,
down the list of
elderly white gentleman,
yeah.
because we live in Trump country here, so no,
Not really. Like
yeah,
in
front,
Virginia?
front royal, yeah, the rural Virginia,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
yeah, that's quite different from, we were in Arlington, which is urban, and then we moved
Yeah,
because it's nice, it's peaceful, it's nice nature, and so yeah, no, I'll be fine, I'll be fine.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Well, he wants to do, they want 3,000 a day, right? They want to grab up 3,000 a day. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people, right?
yeah. So that's the problem. They can't find enough people.
Yeah.
So uh,
That's almost a million a year, right? So,
yeah, I know. I mean, the country will be empty if we.
yeah. Well, who's going to do the jobs, right? That's the thing, right?
Well, that's another interesting problem. Yeah, who's
Yeah.
going to do the crops and things like that.
The
So
shitty jobs that nobody else wants to do.
right. That
The jobs that kind of fuel the economy, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. We need to eat, and we have agriculture is a big thing. So anyway, yeah. So I'll just make films.
But then again, if you really think about it, there's 360 million people. For if in four-year administration, that's 4 million people. That's not really that many people.
No, no, you get rid of 1% maybe. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like 0.3%.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
So there's enough left.
yeah, exactly. So, okay, so you're going to be fine. So you're going to make these films. So 7 years, you got on the festival circuit, you're kind of getting it out there.
Yeah,
seeing.
and I'm very pleased with this because if you once you have one win like this one, or even an award like that, then other festivals are more likely to pick it up.
Yeah,
But
that's how it works, I guess, right?
yeah, and there's one festival in California. They have already selected films for me in the past, so I'm quite hopeful that they will select this film. And but I'm more selective now than I used to. Used to send everywhere, but um, not any longer. So this was seems like an interesting uh, setup, with feedback from people
Mhm.
and things like that. So,
So are you going to make another film or?
um, well, I hope so. I hope that and maybe a couple of short films first. You know, I've had ideas for that, and I have to just see how I'm gonna plan this out, that it is doable. Because yeah, another 7 years. I mean, I'll be 100 years old. No, not quite, but
So okay, so you before we leave you asked you answered an interesting answer. We asked people, everybody, what movie they watched the most times in their life. And you said in the blog interview that you don't really watch films more than once, but there's a few films that you do. Do you remember what you said, the film that you've seen the most?
well, actually, I can.
Well, you don't have to check it out. I have the answer in front of me. But basically, you don't remember what you said?
Was it Strangers on a Train? I think.
Strangers on a Train, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hitchcock film.
yeah. And I think there were others, but I forgot them again. That yeah, I think Hitchcock films. That they. But like I said, I was because of thanks to Amazon and all. I think they got the MGM catalog now. There's a lot of classic black and white movies that are actually restored and
Yeah.
watchable. And those are very interesting, I think, because uh, the themes that they I mean they're not to be dismissed that easily.
Well, with the Strangers on a Train, they remade the movie too. Remember in the 80s? You probably I don't know if you remember
No, no, don't. I don't remember that.
with Danny DeVito and Throw Mama from the Train. That's what it was like. It was
Yeah,
more of a comedic kind of riff on
yeah,
it. Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal.
right. I know that title. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, this no, I think actually it's uh, the initial shot from the feet walking. It's just the whole way things are shown. And that I find that interesting in some of the older movies, the way they show things, and they don't have that many special effects to their disposal, so they
yeah.
have to do the cinematography.
Suspense, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and that uh, that's something I would like to master. The suspense and sort of in a quiet way, just get people tense up. I mean, that's very clever.
yeah. And he like, yeah, I guess he makes you emotionally involved in the characters too, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And it's interesting that in this movie, nobody really dies because I had one scene um, where they chase each other over the city, and well, the one shuttle gets blown up, and the person would die. And my wife said, I don't like that, so that's why he has a parachute, and it's
gotcha.
more intelligent. And the other instance is that when the girl that she's so upset about the whole thing, and she storms off and steals the shuttle and gets shut down and get into the portal. Well, she doesn't die. She just ends up in the Arctic
Mm.
area. And yeah, that's kind of my father was there in Greenland in the 30s, so it's a reference to his work there as a scientist. So that's
Oh
why
wow. Okay.
that's why the man speaks Dutch. That comes out of the
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming you speak Dutch too, right?
yeah,
So,
I do.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was
So-
kind of, there's sort of little jokes, and I don't know if people get those or not.
well, you
Kind
mentioned your wife, so you kind of ask her for opinions and jump ideas off of her
sometimes, but not
sometimes.
not that much. No.
Yeah. So you're doing you said this is your studio, is it in the basement?
Yeah,
So
right.
this is your kind of like creative man cave, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's computers and all that. So,
Does she ever enter these premises?
this is an interesting question. Yes, she is allowed because we can watch films here as well. So I have a
Okay.
large TV here. So the joke is that between 8 and 10, she is allowed in the man cave to
Okay.
watch movies. But that's it.
That's it. So after you kick her out after 10 p.m.
Well, gently, gently.
While you like doing your work at night? We're talking at nighttime. So yeah.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, now I'm retired, so I work during the day and mostly, yeah,
Yeah.
because but sometimes at night, anytime.
Well, sir, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
We're
You're
doing this on
welcome.
a Saturday night on it's after 11. We're
Oh,
both on
yeah.
the East Coast, so it's late, and I appreciate your time doing this. And I wish you the best of success with the film. And we'll,
Thank you.
I'm assuming we'll talk again when you make your next film because I think you can. I think you have to. I think it's part of you now.
Yeah, I think yeah, people know now about it, so they want me to do it. So
Yeah. I don't think you. I think it's you have to keep scratching that itch, I guess.
right,
Right.
I will. Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Let's talk soon.
Okay.